Hey, blues fans, you found us. Glad you did. Time for another episode of This Week in the Blues. It's our weekly take on blues history. I'm your host, Jimbo Big Train Madsen, with the blues band Big Train and the Locomotives. Now, we had somebody write in and ask if it would be okay if they submitted suggestions for different blues artists that we may not know about or might be off our radar. Absolutely, send them our way. We're not the be-all end-all on blues history. We're just trying to keep those stories alive. And the more ideas we have for stories, the better. We do our daily history post on Facebook and Instagram, and we do our weekly video and podcast, so send them our way. We're always looking for good ideas. So with that, let's take a look and see what happened this week in blues history.
Acoustic blues singer, songwriter, and guitarist Catfish Keith was born February 9th, 1962, in East Chicago, Indiana. He's best known for his work on the National Resophonic guitars. His 1984 debut album, Catfish Blues, was released by Kicking Mule Records. He's released several albums since, including 2020's Blues at Midnight. Twice a Blues Music Award nominee for Best Acoustic Blues Album, he's had 10 #1 independent radio chart hit albums. In 2008, Keith was inducted into the Iowa Blues Hall of Fame. Blues singer and multi-instrumentalist R.B. Stidham was born February 9th, 1917. Stidham was sort of a singer that thrived in the R&B market after World War II. Although essentially a bluesman, he wasn't a blues purist. His mixture of blues, jazz, and gospel made him popular in the following decades. Stidham also made many festival and club appearances nationwide and internationally. He did occasional blues lectures at Cleveland State University in the 1970s. Blues guitarist and singer Willie Trice was born in Chapel Hill, North Carolina on February 10th, either in 1908, 1910, or 1911. He played the Piedmont blues style of guitar. In July of 1937, Trice recorded 2 sides with his brother playing second guitar on Come On In Here Mama and Let Her Go, God Bless Her. Without any commercial success, Trice did not record again until the 1970s. However, he was well known for playing locally in the 30s and 40s in North Carolina. Blues singer, songwriter, and guitarist Oscar T.V. Slim Wills was born February 10th, 1916, in Houston, Texas. His best-selling work was 1957's Flatfoot Sam, which helped propel his recording career up through the date of his death. He was not a full-time musician, as his main source of income was working as a television repairman. And that's where his blues name came from, courtesy of Jewel Records owner Stan Lewis. Josh White was born February 11, 1914, in Greenville, South Carolina. He recorded under the names Pinewood Tom and Tippy Barton in the 1930s. In the 20s and 30s, he became a prominent Race Records artist with a prolific output in genres including Piedmont blues, country blues, gospel music, and social protest songs. In 1931, White moved to New York, and his repertoire expanded to include urban blues, jazz, traditional folk songs, and political protest songs. And he was in demand as an actor on radio, Broadway, and film. Blues singer and guitarist Pinkney "Pink" Anderson was born February 12, 1900, in Lawrence, South Carolina. Syd Barrett of the English band Pink Floyd created the band's name by juxtaposing the first names of Pink Anderson and North Carolina bluesman Floyd Council, hence Pink Floyd. Starting in 1914, he joined the Indian Remedy Company to entertain the crowd, selling a concoction purported to have medicinal qualities. In the 1950s, Anderson toured with Leo Chief Thundercloud Caddo and his Medicine Show, often with the harmonica player Arthur Pegleg Sam Jackson. New Orleans blues drummer Charles "Hungry" Williams was born February 12, 1935. He's best known for the innovative and influential technique he used on numerous recordings that came out of New Orleans in the 1950s and 1960s. Growing up in the Second Ward of New Orleans, Williams said that, "Ever since I've been big enough to know myself, I used to always be beating on something, tin cans or something like that." It was also a fertile musical area where early on he met and played with the likes of Professor Longhair and Fats Domino. Chicago blues guitarist Sam Maggot, better known as Magic Sam, was born February 14th in 1937. No blues guitarist better represented the adventurous modern sound of Chicago's West Side more proudly than Magic Sam. Born in 1937 in the Mississippi Delta, he moved to Chicago in 1950, picking up a few blues guitar pointers from his new neighbor, Syl Johnson. His uncle, harp player Shaky Jake Harris, encouraged Sam's blues progress and gigged with him later when they were both West Side institutions. The brilliant and highly influential blues legend James Kokomo Arnold was born February 15th in 1901. Arnold was a left-handed slide guitarist with an intense style of playing and rapid-fire vocal delivery that set him apart from his contemporaries. He got his nickname in 1934 after releasing Old Original Kokomo Blues for Decca Records, a cover version of Scrapper Blackwell's blues song about the city of Kokomo, Indiana. Arnold began playing in the early 1920s and worked as a farmhand, as a steelworker, and ran a bootlegging business, the things they had to do just to get by. Blues rock guitarist Gary Clark Jr. was born February 15th in Austin, Texas. He's known for his fusion of blues, rock, and soul music with elements of hip-hop. Throughout his career, Clark has been a prolific live performer, which has been documented with 2 live releases. He has shared the stage with Eric Clapton, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, B.B. King, and the Rolling Stones. In 2014, Clark was awarded a Grammy for Best Traditional R&B Performance and 3 more Grammy wins in 2020. Well, blues fans, we just covered just some of the highlights here. Now, if you want to know more about these blues artists or all the other things that happened this week in the blues, and there's a lot of them, be sure to follow our social media pages or just visit our website at bigtrainblues.com. Now we'll have a brand new episode next week, so we'll see you then.